Decided it's time to do new primary research? Write out your business problem and your research problem before you write out your research objectives and research hypotheses. The research problem or research opportunity summarizes in one simple sentence what we're trying to learn from whom. So we're better informed to tackle this specific business problem. Research objectives that are operational should be specific, findable via this sample, should be leverageable, and provide new information. These research objectives might suffice for a primary research study for Hilton hotel guests. Number one, find overall satisfaction with their stay at Hilton Suites Markham for all customers and specifically for Hilton Rewards card holders. Number two, measure satisfaction with the checkout process, office staff, room service. Number three, find the intent to return by type of audience, leisure versus business guest, etc. Number four, establish customers' intent to recommend this Hilton to friends and family. How about a research objective such as establish if Hilton would be a good business to business customer? Sorry, too vague to be a research objective. Research objectives must be specific. What else signals a research objective that's not operational? Words such as strategy, positioning, profit. They should not be in primary research objectives. These words don't meet our criteria that the research objectives are going to be findable via this sample. Members of the public are members of the public. They're not qualified to advise you on strategy. Their knowledge of brand positioning is what? They probably think of positioning as how far back to tilt a lazy boy recliner. And to advise you about profit, you must share information about your cost structure. And you definitely don't want members of the public to know your cost structure. What else disqualifies a research objective? When it looks unlikely to bring new information. If a retailer drafts a primary research objective proposing a study to learn which days the store has most traffic or how frequently customers shop at your stores, that's redundant. It's not new info. You have transaction data and or loyalty card data. Why are you seeking such information via primary research amongst consumers? I've seen some research objectives that are just silly. Research is about learning, not selling. Research may extract insight so that later on you better market and sell. But research itself shouldn't be used to try to sell products or services. A research objective with a phrase such as to sell more or to increase market share, that needs revising. Instead, focus the research objective on which specific info you seek that may eventually help you to sell more. On to another classic part of a research brief, a primary research hypothesis. Hypotheses are hunches that we test to find if true or false, valid or invalid. Why do we need to periodically field some hypotheses and double check that such assumptions are valid? Because business decisions should be based on facts, not misconceptions. And because not identifying misconceptions or preconceptions may mean we just keep wasting resources. I weep at the thought of unproductive marketing spending. A hypothesis should be meaningful, realistic, specific, simple, one idea at a time, testable, and leverageable. Here are a couple hypotheses that might be work ready. Number one, less than 50% of customers who buy Under Armour past 6 months recall seeing one of that brand's advertisements. Number two, over 50% of people owning 2+ items of Lululemon gear also own a wearable fitness monitor. Number three, adults who claim to exercise 4 or more times a week at home are more likely to mention Lululemon as a top-of-mind athletic brand than adults who claim to exercise 2 or 3 times a week at home. And what should a hypothesis not be? They should not be already known, trite, vague, or circular. Here are some bad examples. Already known or trite. People under 18 tend to weigh less than people 19 years of age or older. Duh. Vague. Most people know Lululemon. No, what about Lulu? Which people? Circular. People with a body mass index under 18.5 are underweight. That's how underweight is defined. But, bad examples aside, must you include hypotheses in a primary research brief? Not always. But I'm a believer. Why? If you don't bother creating and testing hypotheses, the risks include a false positive, a type 1 error. You think a relationship exists, but it doesn't, such as spending on the wrong target, using the wrong ad or ad medium, or a false negative, or type 2 error. You miss a new opportunity or threat. You fail to recognize a relationship. You snooze, you lose. Late to the market, failing to identify an opportunity or a threat. So, get savvy at writing and testing some hypotheses.